Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Some changes with the new year to how the technology works. You know, I love that. If you are here, give me a shout out, a like, or a love. I'm still trying to figure out what the best solution here is. Adjust my camera just a little bit and see if I can make it a little bit better. We'll see. I don't know. It's always a mystery, right? There we go. All right. So, Happy New Year, right? By the way, I am Lori Staley, the Addicted Stamper, with Stampin' Up out of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, which is a little small town, a little bit south of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So if you're familiar with our capital, then kind of gives you an idea of where I am. And it is Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, January 5th, 2026. How about that? So Debbie has more snow in Vermont. And let's see. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Happy New Year, ladies. You love the purple nails. I just got them done today. Yes, I love the purple nails too. I'd like to say that it was because we won our game yesterday, but we did not. For those of you that don't know, I am a Baltimore Ravens fan, and heartbreak in the last seconds yesterday was a little tough. But anywho, hey, guess what goes live tomorrow? Woo! The new mini catalog. Hey, Judy, good to see you. Happy New Year. It was between purple and blue, and when I saw this, I had to go with purple. So anyway, yeah, the mini catalog goes live tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be able to actually open the pages to share with you. Not quite yet. But if you are a customer of mine or you don't have a demonstrator in the United States and you are looking for a mini catalog, please let me know. We'll see what we can do to get one in your hands. Of course, you'll always be able to go online and look at everything. Go under what's happening, and it will give you links to see the January through May products, as well as the January online exclusives that are releasing tomorrow. So make sure you check all those good things out. As is usual, I expect some things will sell out quickly, and not that they won't come back in, but we might have to wait a little while. So if you're looking for Valentine's Day, Easter, things like that, you might want to hop on those sooner rather than later. There will also be a new product of the month tomorrow. And if you're not familiar with that, with every $75, no, I'm sorry, with a $75 product order. So after any discounts, after you've applied rewards, you're paying $75 plus shipping and tax. You will be able to get the new product of the month for just $5. We don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. Last month, it was the beautiful True Blues that we did, the designer series paper that we used on our last live together. And that was a full pack of 12 by 12 designer paper, which would normally run us $12.50. We were able to get it for $5. So make sure you're checking that out as well, especially if you're grabbing a few things that get your total up to $75 after you've applied any Stampin' Rewards, right? Hey, Carol Zeezer, Happy New Year to you. Looks like Gorgeous Grape. I know. And I was just thinking about Gorgeous Grape the other day. Maybe that's what influenced me because I haven't used that color in a while. But anyway, so that's all the exciting things that are happening tomorrow. The last thing I want to tell you about tomorrow is it is the last day to get your paper share. So if you like getting your hands on all the brand new designer series papers and you want some that you can just touch and feel and play with and check out before you commit to purchasing a full pack, then check out my paper share. I put the link in the description below this video so that you can grab that. You're going to get two 6x6 sheets of each of the designer series papers that are coming out both in the mini catalog and in the online exclusive releases tomorrow. So registration does close for that tomorrow so that I can know how much I need to order to be able to fulfill everyone's request. It comes in a 6x6 cellophane bag that is labeled with the item number, the name of the product, and the price, as well as a second label that has all the coordinating colors. So just like having that back sheet in the 12 by 12, you have everything at your fingertips if you want to reorder or you want to know how to marry it with our cardstock and coordinating colors. All right. I think That's all the housekeeping I have because I don't have the Just Cards design yet for January. Shh, don't tell anybody. All right, so we are gonna play with a technique that's been around for a little while. I think it was actually introduced at a convention that I might have been at. I can't tell you how many moons ago, but it's called stack, slice, and shuffle. Have you heard of that? Have you done that recently? I'm curious. Who's done that recently? Anybody? Well, that is what we are playing with today. And I'm trying to grab something here because we are also going to be getting one final peek at some new designer series paper, right? This one is the Made with Love. So I'm going to do some Valentine cards. Let me just pull this out of here. It'll be easier. So if you haven't seen this paper yet, this is the Valentine's paper. This could also be Christmas paper, in my opinion, but it is Valentine's with the XOXO on the other side. And then the larger hearts, okay, with some nice detailed Poppy Parade, Real Red, Flirty Flamingo, Bubble Bath, I think. That might be the next paper. But again, this is Made with Love. Some of these sheets are going to repeat themselves. There's a smaller pattern. For the stack and shuffle, I find the smaller patterns work better. So that last heart, this heart, which has got the Flirty Flamingo background. Okay. And then this pretty piece. I think this is the Bubble Bath. There's more Flirty Flamingo. And then these are pieces and parts of leftovers from projects I've done. New to you. All right. Hey, Betty. Well, good. I'm glad on the first live together, I'm going to get to teach some of you something new. I love it. And it is a great way to use your designer series paper. And there's all kinds of ways to do this technique. I'm going to start with a 3 card. Okay, so we're going to use 3 patterns. Hey, Jeannie. And then we're going to, hey, Carla. And then we're going to do a 4 pattern. So stick around to see both because they're just a little bit different. My apologies. I thought I had the meant to be bundle. So I was planning to use that. And when I reached for it, where it was the Be My Valentine, which I believe this one is retired. So you can use whatever Valentine set you have. If you have the meant to be, it's perfect for this. But I'm going to use the Be My Valentine because that is the one I actually have. Surprise, surprise. Never a dull moment. All right. So because Poppy Parade is so prevalent in that pattern paper that I just shared with you, that is going to be one of our colors. And then we're also going to use Flirty Flamingo for our inks. I am going to make this stack of cards for my girlfriends for Valentine's Day. So if you're one of my tribe, look away. Look away. But we're going to cut 3 card bases, 8.5 by 5.5, and of course score at 4 1/4. So you're going to need 3 of those. This one I cheated already, and I put my 5 1/4 by 4 piece of basic white on the front. All of these will get that, as well as that same size for the inside of our card base. And then here are the 3 patterns that I am going to use. So these are all cut for this design. These are cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And I say for this design because the next set that I'm going to show you is going to have different measurements. But if you want to do something that's going to layer onto here, right? Then you want 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to grab, there it is. I'm like, somebody moved my cheat sheet. Can't have that happening. All right, so we are going to put this in the horizontal orientation, or this is going to be the 5-inch. This is going to be the 3 3/4 inch. And I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to cut it at 1.5. Okay. Now you did see that I have those 3 patterns there, right? Okay, so I'm going to set that one aside. This now measures 3, let's not try to do the math in my head, 3.5 by 3 3/4. So we are going to put it in the horizontal orientation again, which is going to mean that the 3 3/4 is going this way, right? 3 3/4 is going that way. And we're going to cut 1 inch. Okay. And that's it. So let me get the paper trimmer out of here. Now we have 3 patterns, so we're making 3 cards, right? If I had 4 patterns, we'd make 4 cards. If you have 5 patterns, you can make 5 cards. But the number of pattern pieces that you use is going to be what tells you how many cards you're going to use. And you can flip the pattern around so that it is in the appropriate orientation. You can even do that as you're mounting. Okay, so I'm going to use Seal. Some people like to use multi-purpose liquid glue. It gives you a little bit more movement. This time we're going to take our stacks. Okay, so this is we have the stack. We sliced it, and now we're going to shuffle it. So on my first stack, I'm just going to slide 1 piece under. Okay, and I'm going to set that down over here. On this one, I'm going to do 1, 2. And on this one, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it that way. So now you can see I've got 3 different patterns showing, right? And if we want to check me, right, we pull these apart. Again, again, we've got 3 different patterns, and you can kind of see the back ones, 3 different patterns. That's what you want. You don't want to end up with 2 pieces in the same pattern. Okay, so we're going to grab this. We're going to bring this over here. I'm going to lay this out first, then I'm going to show you an easier way to do it. But if you want to minimize the supplies that you need, you're just going to line this up. We're going to line it up so that I am pushing everything together, right? And ideally, when this is mounted, I want the same white border on that 5 1/4 by 4 piece on all 4 sides. Okay, that's the goal. So let's try it with this one, and then I'll show you an easier way. And I can usually, if I really, really need to, can get my pieces of designer series paper up with my Seal. I did try it with liquid glue because I know a lot of people prefer liquid glue when they're doing this project. But for me, the liquid glue, oops, now see, I'm going to have to pull that other piece over just a little bit. The liquid glue glued, imagine that. It adhered itself more quickly than I was ready for it to. So thus the reason I'm going with the Seal. Which, yes, I know. At least it was the last time I checked. It was on back order. So it will be back. Have no fear. But yeah, makes it hard to make cards when we don't have the product in house, right? All right. Well, I'm going to go with that. I moved it a little too far to the left, but that's okay. So that's it. That's how we do. Now we're going to come in. And I've actually cut a piece 5 by 3 3/4, which means that I should be able to line everything up on the edge. And that might make it a little bit easier for some of us, like me, to get everything mounted evenly. I still lay it out because that's what I like to do, just to make sure I haven't kind of lost my vision of what I want. So again, I'm going to line that up edge to edge. pressing lightly in case I do have to peel it up. But I'm budding, oh my goodness, everything's flipping and flying. I'm budding all my edges, right? So I have a nice straight line across the bottom, and hopefully I'll have a nice straight line in the center. It's awfully nice too when your patterns are an all over pattern, so you don't necessarily have to worry about the orientation. Hey, Carol Deacon, good to see ya. Happy New Year. All right, so there we go. And then we're going to just go ahead and mount that to one of the 5¼ by 4. And we're going to try to get that border equal. But it's a little bit easier to line up the papers if you just cut the layer of basic white to the same layer as your pattern paper before you do the slice, right? So again, this back piece is 5¼ by 4. Oh, there we go. I think we have it. And then this piece is 5 by 3¾ That's how we get the white border. Then it's just going to go onto one of our Poppy Parade card bases. And once you've done this a time or two, it really does go very quickly. You can make a lot of cards in short order. And as you can see, you can use up your designer series paper. So if you've got a lot of designer series paper, you're not really sure what to do with it, maybe you want to try the stack, slice, and shuffle technique. Oop, that's a bigger one. We want the small ones. So there's that. There's that. And our last piece is on just like that. We're going to bring in one of our 5¼ by 4 to mount that on. So that we have the white border. My fingers are so cold that my rings just spin now. But I just saw the weather for this week and it's supposed to be in the 50s. I can't tell you how excited I am about that because I am just not somebody that enjoys cold weather. And we have same patterns, but 3 totally different looking cards, right? How cool is that? All right, how did I finish this off? So just to review, card base is a standard 8½ by 5½, scored at 4¼ The back layer, the white that you see, is 5¼ by 4. Your 3 designer paper sheets before we slice them are 5, horizontally 5 by 3¾ height or tall. And you can take a piece of basic white to help line this up and get it all straight and even on the paper, right? We sliced them with the 5-inch, we sliced 1½ off. Then we turned it and we did a horizontal slice at 1 inch. Okay. You can go back and watch the replay and it'll show you all of that. But we're going to move on now to how I finish this off. Yeah, and you can use any designs. Again, I was looking for smaller patterns. This all came out of the same pack. Of course, it all coordinates. Those colors all work together. And now we're just going to turn these in to the best Valentines in our lives, which is our girlfriends, right? Cards for our girlfriends. All right, so Poppy Parade is my color ink of choice at the moment. I really want to stamp this straight. Again, my apologies because I thought I had meant to be, and instead I have Be My Valentine. Now you could absolutely change up your greetings for each card. Uh-oh. Where did my third circle go? Apparently I'm enjoying throwing things on the floor. Is this it? It is. Okay. So there's our Happy Valentines. We're going to go ahead and mount those. So this is a 1 3/4 inch circle. And I would have used a 1 7/8 inch circle, but oh, good. Now I'm going to have to find a gem or something to put on there. But mine took off. I have no idea where it is. I can't find it down at the retreat house, the nest, and I can't find it here. So guess what's on my next order from Stampin' Up? You got it, a 1 7/8 inch circle punch. All same orientation, simple stamping. Once we have the stack, slice, and shuffle done. Nope, I said that wrong. No, I didn't. Stack, slice, and shuffle. Okay. So there is our exterior. Now I'm really hoping I've got 3 4 by 5 1/4 here. And I am going to bring back in the Poppy Parade. Thankful for you, friend. Perfect, perfect greeting. This is from Thankful Garden. Which looks like this. Again, I wanted to check, but I didn't get home in time to make sure this is still available. I can't keep up, guys. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's exactly what happens, Debbie. As soon as I order it, it's going to show up. But that's okay. I still need 2 at the end of the day because I need one here in my studio and I need one down at the Cozy Craft Nest. Which, if you're new to my channel, that is, I opened a retreat house in my childhood home about, oh my goodness, it'll be 2 years ago this month. Woo. So that's a heart also from the Be My Valentine set in Flirty Flamingo, pulling those colors from the designer series paper. And this is just this is a great technique, whether you're doing it with everyday cardstock or paper, whether you're doing, you need a bunch for Christmas. Maybe your husband does a quarter auction at work, haha. Although they didn't do it this year. And you need a lot of cards, like a great Christmas card kit to share with coworkers. Maybe you want to make cards at work. This is a great, easy way to teach non-card makers how to make some fun cards, right? Take it to a senior center. There we go. There we go. Just that simple. I'm not even putting bling on this one, although I will on that one that I smudged. But how cute are these, right? And they're all different because the patterns are different because we stacked, sliced, and shuffled. Okay. Anybody want to see one done with 4 patterns? I'll let you tell me if you're interested in that while I clean these sticks. And I'm not sure I have this paper handy. Let me see what I got here. Oh, I do. Let's see. I'll show you the paper that I'm going to use. Another sneak peek of what's coming up tomorrow that you can get your hands on. So this one is called Lovely and Beautiful Designer Series paper. This is a specialty paper because, as you can see, there's some gold scattered throughout. Now, this is a bigger pattern, so I had to look for smaller patterns, which you'll see what I found here in a couple seconds. But so pretty. This has Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Petal Pink, and Gold in it. I love that one. I'm not sure what it is about it. And there's some Calypso Coral. Okay, apparently these are all in sideways. That's the same pattern. Here's one that is truly gold. So you could color this with your blends and make those flowers whatever colors you would like. And then look at that pretty peach pie and some old olive, I think, and fresh freesia. Did it say fresh freesia? It did say fresh freesia. I think these larger patterns would be great for scrapbooking as well. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You could also fussy cut that very easily, right? And then I love that one. There we go. Okay, so those are the patterns in the Lovely and Beautiful. Again, that'll be available starting tomorrow in my online store. So if you love it, go grab it. And that's what we're going to use to do our next Stack and Shuffle. Right after I get done fighting with the Designer Series paper to go back in its packaging. Some days you just gotta wonder. This paper is very pretty, absolutely. Okay. This one has a more pieces to it. So we are using Mossy Meadow for our card base, and there are 4 cards because I have 4 patterns of paper that we're going to use, right? Okay, those 4 patterns. And we're going to start. Okay, so we've got the stack. That's the stack portion. And we're going to bring back the paper trimmer. And we're going to do the shuffle. Now, this time, my orientation is going to be the vertical orientation to start. And we're going to cut at 1 1/4. Okay. So I'm lining it up on the left side at 1 1/4. And I cut. And the nice thing about the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer is it will cut through all 4 layers at one time. So I'm going to keep them in their order for now, but you know we're going to do that shuffle in just a minute. So I'm going to lay that over here on the side. I'm going to turn this so it is now in a horizontal orientation and make sure they're all nice and stacked straight. And we're going to cut it at 3. Okay. There we go. And then I want the larger piece. So this piece is going to go up here like this. This piece I'm thinking, I'm hoping I got this right. Yes, I do. This piece is going to, I didn't write it down. Uh-oh. Hold, please. I need a ruler. I need a ruler. There it is. I purposefully put one here in case I messed up. Did I mess up? Yes, I did. Actually, I'm not going to cut that piece. That's why. So it's just like that. Just put it in that orientation. So we've got those going like that. We're going to pick this one back up. This is where my confusion came. This one back up, and we're going to cut this at 2 inches. So this is our 1 1/4 piece that we're cutting now at 2 inches. There we go. All right, now we have all our pieces. Let's get this out of the way. And this is going here, and this is going here. So that is how we lay them out. Actually, this way. There we go. Okay. Just like that. Then we're going to do our shuffle. So first pack, 1 piece. Second pack, 2 pieces. Not 2 pieces like this. No, no. Each one separately. Okay. This one is 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. And this one stays just as it is. We're going to grab a card base and we're going to lay it out in vertical orientation. Lay it out. And there we go. So I'm going to slide this over here. I think you'll still be able to see it, but I need a little more space so I feel like I'm centered with you all. There we go. All right, grab our adhesive. And again, as I said earlier, some people prefer to use the liquid glue because you can move. And I think when I use the liquid glue that it ends up stuck to the paper before I've adjusted everything I need to adjust. This time I'm leaving a channel between the patterns. And that already looks crooked to me, but we'll see what happens as we continue. We might have to pull it up. The days of frustrating my husband because I could walk up to a wall. He'd have to get the level out to hang a picture, and I'd walk up and hammer the nail into the wall, and it was perfectly straight. And he always said, I don't know how you do that. And there we go. And then our last piece. And that doesn't really have an orientation to its pattern, so we can just do this. How cool is that? So this one I can tell is over a little too far. We're going to see if I can lift that up. It does have its own bling. Oh, it sure did, didn't it? I think it's probably the mat. It's probably the mat. Who made New Year's resolution? Anybody? Here we go. Pattern 1. Coming back in this time, we're going to have this piece. And if you want your leaves go in the opposite direction, just flip the paper. Don't flip the position of the paper, but flip the paper. And then this piece, and this piece, and this piece. You know what, guys? I'm taking these off because they are so loose on my hands tonight. Okay. Usually that little tap it where the glue is and pick it up works. It's not working tonight. Oh, just my luck, right? It's almost a shame to cover that pretty gold foil. So again, everything wants to be straight. It's funny, you think it's straight until you put the next piece down and then you realize, oh, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. That's why I'm not rubbing it down until I'm sure. I didn't make any New Year's resolutions this year. Judy didn't either. Yeah, I think this might be the first year I didn't in a long, 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 long time. But I think that this one's crooked. I have a lot of things I want to accomplish. It's just figuring out how I'm going to get the time in my life to do all that. That one's going to be the contrary one. I can see it already. There we go. I think we got it. We did. There we go. That's 2. Do you have a favorite pattern on this one? These watercolor flowers on the back are simply gorgeous. That looks really good. Ooh, I got nervous for a minute. I thought I had lost the pieces. I'm like, now, how was that possible? This one is the one that is wanting to fight me tonight. So we're just mounting these, trying for equal spacing everywhere. Once we know they're good, we can rub all over and make sure that there's good adhesion between the 2 layers. You always break them by January 31st. I hear that too. I do. All right, last one. All right, I think they already know. This one's too far north on the card base. That's a good plan, Carol. Me too. Mine is more about, ooh, I'm glad we're going to hide all that. Mine is more about using my tools better, more effectively, teaching myself some new tricks, because y'all know technology is not my friend. Even tonight on Facebook, it took me forever to get the posts done to say I'm going to be live. And I tried doing it through Meta and I tried doing it through my business page and frustrating. Okay. So that's one of mine. And to go back and read books, physical books. I was an avid reader most of my life, and I was so blessed that I worked at Book of the Month Club. And if you've never heard of Book of the Month Club, it was an amazing company. We had 52 niches, I guess, in books, everything from cooking and crafts to mystery to history. It was awesome until Amazon came along, and then it wasn't awesome so much. But we got damaged books for 50 cents. So I could buy any kind of book I wanted. There we go. There's all 4 patterns. So let's look at that. And pay 50 cents. And if I didn't like the book, I didn't feel like I was wasting my money. So I want to read more books. I got two physical books for Christmas, so I'm excited. So there we go. There are the 4 patterns done with the shuffle, right? We stacked them, we sliced them, and then we shuffled them. Now let me show you how I finish these off. So this, I think, would make a really cute gift package, right? I got to get some adhesive in there somehow. I'll use some glue. You put these 4 cards together, add envelopes, wrap them up with some ribbon. It's a great hostess gift if someone's having you for dinner. It's a great just because gift for a friend who might be going through some stuff. Birthday gift, whatever. So we're going to use the Heartfelt Hexagon Punch, and I'm going to punch 4 of these. You can also do this, as I'm going to show you, with minimal supplies. So that we're using the same punch out for all 4 cards. And I'm bringing in one of my favorites, right? Simply Said. This has a thinking of you, a thank you, a birthday wishes, a just a note, or thanks, whatever you want to use. But you've got 4 or 5 different greetings here that you can use with your stack, slice, and shuffle. So I'm going to use birthday wishes on one of them. And I'm going to use my grid here, hopefully, to help line up my paper. So I'm stamping somewhat straight. Mossy Meadow, if I didn't say that, Mossy Meadow is the color of ink that I'm using. It's, of course, the base of our card. There's a thanks. And I'm just lining the point up on that grid line so I stand a chance at being straight. Doesn't mean I will be. And then the last one is the thinking of you. Okay. So 1 stamp set, 4 greetings. Life is good, right? Let me move these before I lay my hand down in them and get ink on something. Yeah, come to the library, you've got lots of books. Yes, you do. Yes, Debbie. Yes, I am familiar with that as well. For years I had a gym membership and I just avoided it in January because it was crazy busy. All right, so we're going to do, excuse me. We're going to do a couple of these. We're going to do these in a little bit different way, especially since I'm thinking about giving them as a gift, right? So I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to position my piece in the exact same orientation. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals for each of the cards. You don't have to do that. I just think it adds just a little bit. I have that thing that capture your little pieces here, but I don't know what I did with it. We're going to do that on the same thing with the thanks. My purple one's down at the nest. There's my blue one. Let's see if I can grab it. If you don't have this cute little thing for well, when you're using your Cricut, they call it weeding. I don't know what we call it other than get off my finger, dimensional backing, right? But it does keep them from getting on your cat's noses or back or showing up in their litter boxes, shall we say, because it keeps them all corralled. Okay, so with these two, and I had a bag of goodies here that I pre-planned. We're going to use some of that Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon. And I did one with the Mossy Meadow side showing, and I did one with the gold side showing, since we have some gold. And this has more gold, so I'm going to use the gold one here. Which one do you like better? You like the gold or the Mossy Meadow showing? Okay. I'm just pressing the knot of the bow that I made down onto the glue dot and picking it up that way. And you can fuss with your bow and the tails and all of that, however you like it. I also brought in some of the muted palette dots. And we're going to grab some of those Mossy Meadow layers. Let me see if I have some snips or something here I can grab. You like the gold? I like the gold too. I do. All right, so we're going to add, if we can pick it up, keeping everything on these two 100% the Mossy Meadow. Okay. Now, this is not a paper that you would necessarily want to send to a gentleman, obviously. Oh, thanks, Beauty. All right, so we're done with those. These two are done. I am going to put blank inserts into them because I think that way you have the opportunity to write your message. And then I used, this is coming tomorrow as well, I believe, Beautifully Celebrated. I apologize if you're hearing that. Somebody is desperately trying to get to me. Hopefully no one's in trouble. But I use the dies. We used these dies the other day, right? I love these layered dies. But I used this fun leaf and die cut a few of those to add a little accent. And this is how I'm storing these. This is my trial, right? I do have to get these on magnetic sheets, obviously. But I have both the dies and the stamps together in the same sleeve. So I don't have to have two sleeves, which, you know, unless I rubber band, are obviously going to get separated. It fits in there fine. And then I can see it at one glance. That's what my dies look like. And that's what my stamp set looks like. This so far is working well for me. This will only work for ones that are current and I'm keeping in my stash here, because down at the nest, I absolutely have to do something like this. Stamp the images both for the outside of the case and the inside of the case, so that I know if there's a stamp missing when I go to put it away. And then I'm migrating to labels, but write the name of it. I've got the item number here if I need to look it up, and the number of images that are in there. So this is how I'm storing them at the nest. This is how I'm storing them in my personal studio where I do my design work for all of you. It really is. It really is simple and quick. All right, so now we're going to bring out the dimensionals again. But first, we've got to find my silicone pad, which seems to have wandered off. So what I want to do is I want to mount these leaves to the back. And I've got 4 of them. I'm going to lay them up here so that they don't disappear in the black for me. All right, I'll take you 2. You seem to want to be the ones that come. So I kind of want them to go like this, right? Oops, wait. I didn't weed that one well enough. All right, so we're gonna go like this and like this. Kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. Or maybe like that and like this. There we go. That's what I want. So what I'm going to do is I got them on the silicone pad. I'm going to add my adhesive here because that's kind of the orientation I want for them. And I'm going to press down. And now they're going to stay in place so that I can flip them over and have the option to add my dimensionals. There's lots of uses for a silicone pad. It's a great tool to have in your arsenal. And actually, I think I'm going to, maybe somewhere down the road, I'm going to do a little 3-technique series or something, or 3 techniques in a video for you on the silicone pad. Because like I said, there's lots that you can do with it. All right, we're going to bring this guy in just one at a time. I know you're anxious. He wants to come out and play too. Okay, there we go. There we have it, just like that. Going to do the same exact thing with the remaining 2 leaves. 4 behind, just a note. Put that there. Just have to make sure I've got them going in the right orientation. That one there. We're going to add some adhesive on this side to pick them up with. And then back to our dimensionals. They do. They do. So if you want to get fancier, you obviously can, right? But we were going for simplicity with our Valentine's cards. And I'm going to do one in the center because I don't want it drooping. There we go. Using up those edges because why not? There's it's a YouTuber, I think. Or Instagram. I'm not sure which. I never know where I am half the time when I'm online. Just like, let me just figure it out. But anyway, he cooks, and so he'll say, "Use it all. I paid for it all. I'm using it all." And that's how I feel about our dimensionals. We paid for them. We're gonna use them, all of them, right? So there we go. And then just because I like me some bling, we're also going to add a little bling on these two. So you can add as much involvement here as you want, as much accessorizing as you want. And just because I love me some purple too, right? Obviously, if you look at my nails, we're going to add some of these pretty fresh freesia because we've got that color in our paper, right? And apparently I didn't cut the insides. But like I said, I am most likely just going to leave the insides blank because I am going to wrap this up and use it for a gift. Why not, right? Share the love. We stamp all these beautiful things and we need to get them into other people's hands so they can enjoy them as well. So there's those 2 that I did just with the leaf accents and then the birthday and just a note with the gems. And then these 2 have the bows with the gem as well, the muted palette. Okay, so we did stack, slice, and shuffle, right? Stack, slice, and shuffle. We stacked, in this case, we stacked 4 patterns. In this case, we stacked 3 patterns, right? We sliced them into the measurements that I gave you. So you can go back and get those measurements if you want to try making these yourselves. And then we shuffled. We put our stacks down as we sliced them, and then we did 1, we did 2, and we did 3 for the 4 top, or the 4 piece. If we were only using 3 sheets, then we were only making 3 cards. If you made 5 patterns, then you could make 5 cards. But each time you would shuffle 1 extra one, and on the very last one, you don't shuffle anything. Okay. Any questions on that? Did you like that? Oh, feet. Now there's a ring on the floor. So I want to put them back on. Yeah, I hope you try it. Hey guys, if you do try it and you are on Facebook with me, come over to Stamp with Lori Addicted Stamper. That's my stamping group, right? And post your pictures. Take a picture of your stack, slice, and shuffle cards and post it over on Stamp with Lori Addicted Stamper. I'd love to see what you're working on. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. I do hope you enjoyed that fun technique and you get lots of use with it with lots of different designer papers. Let's bring the Valentines back in too. I think they'll fit right here. Oops. There we go. It's fun. And there's no end to the patterns that you can create with it. Have a great rest of your week. Be safe, stay warm. If it's snowing where you are, I'm so sorry. It's going to be 50 here. Did I mention that earlier? Yeah, take care. And I will see you next Monday night with something new. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.